welcome to today's webinar of Elvis 3. Today, I will give you a brief introduction in our building automation system Elvis. But first, I want to introduce myself and our company. So let me switch on the camera. Hello, my name is Nico Passmann. I work for the company IT GmbH in Germany, Kirchreuth. For the rest of the presentation, I will switch the video off again so you can see and enjoy the whole presentation. IT is doing software development, especially in the field of building automation since 1992. We are involved in the ETS development since day one and in our own tools around ETS and KNX. For example, the ETS app reconstruction, for which there's also a webinar. As mentioned before, we have our building automation system Elvis, which has been on the market since 1998 and is currently being further developed by us in version 3. So, how can you start and describe Elvis? Elvis got 3 pillars. First, Elvis is a gateway. You can connect to many different bus systems and translate comments from one bus system to the other. The second pillar, Elvis is a powerful logic engine. You can start building logic with the integrated system of Elvis from the classic scenes, sequence and schedules. If this is not enough, you can build logics with a graphic editor, which is also possible as graphic custom item. So what does custom item mean? Briefly, it means you can build a logic with in and outputs and reuse this logic as often as you want with different data points, so you're doing your work only once. If the graphic editor is still not enough, you can extend your Elvis project by adding C# or Visual Basic scripts, which opens a whole new level of possibilities. Later on, I will come back to this topic. Last but not least, we have the visualization, which is as versatile as the server part. You can offer your customers something unique that fits their needs perfectly. Once your designs are set up, it also allows you to switch between different designs with a minimum of effort. So, to start, those 3 pillars build the base of Elvis 3. To sum it up, I go to the next picture, where we see the gateway in the bottom of the picture. For example, Elvis can be connected to KNX, Ambus, BACnet, or the IoT protocol MQTT, to name a few. Then we have the server part, where we can translate comments from one bus system to the other and build our logic in. For example, for energy management. Last, we have the visualization with 4 different clients. So what are those clients? Brand new, we have the Elvis Viewer Wear OS. It's running on Google Wear OS, and the app offers the same adaptability and flexibility that you're used to from Elvis, with a few limitations. Elvis Wear OS only supports controls that are necessary or are controllable on a smartwatch. So you won't find very big complex controls on it because it won't be possible to look at those. Besides this, Elvis offers a client for iOS and Android, Windows and web. So Elvis offers all possibilities to provide its customers with the appropriate client. And the best thing is, we offer almost full support on all platforms. As mentioned, there are differences for example, between the client for the smartwatch and Windows, but the difference between the others are quite small. And we are constantly developing it further. So the differences will get smaller and smaller. Last but not least, we have a special app, the Elvis Direct. So what makes this app special? It is an app-only solution. It offers the basic features a smart home needs, starting with automation with scenes, sequence and schedules, to alarms with messaging. Elvis Direct can connect to KNX directly, Hue and MQTT, and also offers a built-in MQTT broker. The best thing is, you use the same design tool, the Elvis Designer, so once your client wants to build a bigger or more complex solution, you can just extend this project and load it onto an Elvis server. So now we are on the point working with Elvis. To start working with Elvis, we need the Elvis Designer. First, it is our design tool for Elvis project, which you can download for free. And Elvis is system open, so if there is a system which is not integrated yet, you're able to create your own port or we build it for you. It's very easy to import your data points, which I'm going to show you in a minute. Elvis can manage very complex system, but at any point where you are using something in the same or similar way, you need to do the work only once, so the project planning stays as easy and efficient as possible. This also means that the work you have done can be flexibly changed and reused. The good thing is, regardless of the client, the project can be tested at any time from the designer. So once you're done with your project, you will create the so-called target files, which will be installed at the client side. Until now, we heard a lot about what is possible. Now I want to show you how easy you load the data of a KNX project. Afterwards, I will create and briefly design and test a control. And now I switch to the Elvis Designer. So here you see the Elvis Designer. To save some time, I have already opened a project. On the right side, you see the Solution Explorer with 3 sub-projects. First, we have the server project. Here you find all the data for automation or connections. Second is the client project, where you usually store all your graphic designs and parts. And in this case, the third is the project for the Windows terminal. Here you add all the operating pages for your customer. It is also possible to add here more projects, for example for Elvis Mobile or Web. I now switch to the server project and open the KNX file. So double click on that file, the table editor is opened. Under process port you find KNX and the KNX driver is already selected. I will quickly check the properties and the configuration. In this case, I choose KNX IP tunneling as connector type and I've already entered an IP address. So I click on Save and go to the folder Data Points KNX. In the left corner you see the option Import from File. I will click on this one and I will choose Schulung Neu KNX project. This file is easily exported with your ETS. I click on Open. It takes a second and window opens with import options. I don't want to go into details here, so I leave the default options and click on OK. In the next window you see I'm going to import 41 data points, and on the right side you have the option to check those before, as you can see here. I click on OK, close this window. This option is quite useful when you import your KNX project again and you have same or different data points. So you can check those before you overwrite existing ones in your project. To finish, I click on OK. And here you are. The data points of your KNX project are inside your Elvis project. Next, I quickly want to create a control using one of those data points. Therefore, I go to the Terminal project, back on the Solution Explorer, and go to Pages and open the Start page. You can now see the blank Start page. I will show you two options to create a control. Therefore, I go to the toolbox and drag and drop the on-off button to the blank page. Then I go to the right corner, bindable items. I will choose the folder. Wait a second, I didn't save. I click on save. Now I have all the data points inside. So I choose KNX Smart Home Panel Beleuchtung, and I will drag spot on off to the on off button. Then I want to make a bit of design. Therefore I already import two icons. So I go to Properties and choose Image. Then I choose as off image the light off and on image the light on. For button display I choose content only. So we have set up a on off button with a binding and a design. I promised I give you another way to create a control, but first we right click on that button and choose as control template. What this makes I will show you in a second. Before we have another window which shows the property of the data point, so it's called the rule. I will click on OK, go back to the right corner, bindable items, and I will choose stripe on off. As you can see now, we have the same on off button and it's already bind to the data point, and this is because the data point has the same properties as the other one. So Elvis automatically creates this. And this also works not only for a simple button, this also works for more complex controls or parts. So what is a part? A part has different controls inside, and you can use this part as often as you want with different data points. For example, a simple part would be for dimming a light. You have an on-off button and an Elvis slider. To finish it up, I will start and show you the test modus. Therefore, I click on Debug, Start without debugging. The fastest way would be Ctrl F5. It will take a second. At the moment the project is built, and the server will start as application as well as the terminal. So you can see here the server, and here you have the terminal. I can now switch the light on and back off. So somewhere in the next room the light was on and off again now. This was the first demonstration, and I will now switch back to the presentation. We had the import of KNX data, and we created a control element. So, starting with the server features. Elvis supports KNX Secure since day one, and on their automation side, Elvis offers alarms with messaging, so you can get notifications about nearly everything. I can get messages via call, SMS, email, or push messages. The messaging port can be also used to send reports via email. I will come back to reports later. Then we have the classic automation, already known scene sequence scuttles. Before I come to the report functions, we have to talk about history data and Elvis chart. With Elvis, you can record all the data from your plant. By using the Elvis chart, you can show this data to the customer. You can choose to display the data in graphic or tabular. Sometimes you want this data outside of Elvis, or you need a consumption port for the administration. Therefore, Elvis offers extensions. But why do we have to load those separately? Well, we want that the Elvis project is as slim as possible. To reach this, you only load the features you need into the project. Before I have already mentioned the consumption port. This extension offers you to show and export your consumption, for example, of electricity or gas. For the Elvis user, there's the consumption control, as shown in the picture, which shows the usage of your building. To save this data outside Elvis or send it via mail to the administration, it is possible to create a PDF report. Next, I want to show you another extension, which is a special control that makes controlling your heating easy. Already named as special, it's called the characteristic curve display, or short CCD curve display. It was created to display a heating curve and also makes it possible for the customer to change the operating parameters. Besides, it is also possible to display energy flows with moving arrows, for example, that also can change the color when going from cold to hot. So it's also possible to use it only for displaying your energy flows of your building, like you see in the graphic. In the beginning, I mentioned the possibility to extend your Elvis project by building your own logic. This is possible as shown in the picture in a graphic editor. To make it as easy as possible, so you see you have your data point, your logic module, another one, and another data point, and so on. You can just click and build it by yourself. If this is not enough, as mentioned, you can add C# or Visual Basic script, as shown here. If you need help for this, we also support you and build your own script. At first, this looks quite complex, but in the end, it is easy to use for everyone. You add your script as custom item and bind the necessary data points to the in and outputs in the table editor. As shown in the picture below. To finish this up, I want to show you a project of a customer with a special logic for shading automation. Therefore, I have to switch back to Elvis. So the project you see now is already running. Again, you have the Elvis server as application running, and the terminal here. At first, we see the start page of this project. Usually in the middle there's a nice picture, but because of privacy I had to delete it. To give you a feeling how Elvis could look, I will go through two tabs. First, I go to the restaurant area. It gives the customer a clear overview of the lights in this area and an easy way to control them, like switching them on and off. Then we have another nice tab, the system information. The customer becomes an overview of all necessary data of Elvis and its system. And if anything is wrong, there's directly a button to contact the person in charge. Now we come to the logic module. Therefore go to setup and to the logic module. The operator has the possibility to influence the automation of the shutters by switching times, temperature and brightness. First, we look at the switching time. Here you can set different days and times, for example like this one, and the direction of the shutter, and you can activate or deactivate this. Under the point temperature and brightness, set points and actual values can be specified. In addition, an upper and lower threshold is taken into account, and a delay is also specified. In the end, the customer will see the result in the last tab. So you get a quite complex script, becomes very easy to integrate for the project engineer, and the customer gets an even more simple control. At this point, I would like to thank the KNX Systemtechnik of Thomas Langer, who provided me the project. We are now at the end of the webinar, and let me switch back here. And I hope I could give you a good overview of Elvis in that short time. To end, I would like to invite you to contact us if you have any question or just visit our booth for more information. Thank you very much for your attention and have a successful fair.